Hey there guys, welcome back, Ricky here. Alright, so since I've started this series of knife sharpening, I've gotten a lot of questions from people, and one of the most commonly asked question is how to maintain your whetstone, okay? And it's really simple. The two things that people will always ask me is, should I flatten my stone before every use or after every use? And the quick answer is no, and really the truth is no, okay? I've searched on YouTube and a lot of the forums, and I can name probably a dozen YouTubers that have lots of videos that that are big namers when it comes to sharpening knives and stones. But they tell you to buy a flattening stone or a flattening plate or some sort of flattener and and grind your stone out after every use or before every use. And I'm going to show you guys how I do it. It's not. I have not seen one other person outside of Murray Carter that will stand by me on this statement. Okay, he's the only person that will admit that will say you do not need to flatten your stone at all. Okay, he doesn't even flatten any of his stones. And now, granted, Murray Carter is a master when it comes to knives and sharpening stones, and that's exactly who we should take our tips from. Okay, not bloggers like me or anyone else. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what happens when you flatten your stone. Okay, and why I don't flatten my stones very often. Okay, so this is the Atoma 400. I have one because I have a lot of stones I sharpen under a lot of knives, and so it's good to have one in your arsenal if you are that person. Okay, but let me just show you how much material you actually lose with every flattening. And I'm just going to run it 20 times or so. Okay, now that's 20 times, which is really not a whole lot at all. That's okay, and I'll show you how much material comes off of the stone. This is a lot, okay? In my sharpenings, I never see slur like this in any of my sharpenings with the CRX 1000, okay? And you'll see people recommend you go sideways, okay, which is fine. That's fine, I'm doing that. Okay, and they'll tell you to grind and grind and grind away. Now this stone has had about 3 very harsh sharpening sessions on it. Okay, so you can see right here that the center, okay, is, if you were to exaggerate this image, is slightly grooved. Now take a guess between this area and this area what the thickness difference would be. Okay, I will reckon it's a micron thick or micron difference between this area and the freshly flattened area. Do you think your knife will be sharper with with a difference of 1 micron? I mean, seriously? No, it will not be. Okay, so, and I just took off. Here's the base that you guys don't see. I'll show you. This is the base right now. This is all this material that's off the stone. This is dozens of sharpenings worth of material. I mean, seriously, this is a lot of material. It's on this base as well. See all that white powder? You never see this much stone, this much material slur come off the stone during a sharpening. You just don't. And so it really annoys me to see. And oftentimes, a lot of these guys who tell you this are guys that have stores. Guys, I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus because that wouldn't be fair. But they want you to buy these stones because, these flattening plates, where is it here? These guys will retail for 75, 80, 90. And I think if you buy full retail from one of the very popular Japanese knife suppliers right now, he sells it for like 150, 160 bucks. Okay, so they make a lot of money from people buying these plates. Okay, same thing with Nagara stones. These guys here, got one here. These guys cost $1 to import. Okay, but they sell them for 20 bucks each, 15 bucks each, and so they're making a killing from people who are slightly misinformed, uninformed about sharpening stones and how to maintain your stones. Okay, so this is all I do. Okay, I'll show you. After a sharpening, all I do, or sometimes if I don't have time, I'll do it before the sharpening, is I'll soak the stone like usual. I'll take a Nagara stone, and I run the Nagara stone until I see a clean surface. Now, what hinders your sharpening process is not so much that it's dished or gullied, because the tip of your knife, if you guys aren't aware, when you're sharpening, there is like, when you're running your knife up and down the stone, there is like a contact space of a couple of micro. It's like, I don't even know how to quantify that, but there's maybe a couple of microns of contact space from the knife and the stone. Okay, and so you don't need to have a flat surface because it doesn't matter anyways. To the edge of the blade, that contact space is exactly the same whether the stone is flat or dished, okay, or concaved or anything. So that's all I do. You remember just how dirty or that kind of egg spot that was there? It's completely gone. That is what hinders sharpening performance, okay? The fact that there is metal embedded into the surface of the stone. Okay, so by having a really soft Nagara stone or another soft water stone, you run the surface, you pull off all that metal. Now this stone will cut just like a brand new stone, okay? It will cut just as good whether it's flattened or not, okay? And let me show you another example here. So this is the Besser 1200. Again, it's got maybe 2 or 3 sharpenings on it at this point. Okay, if I run the Atoma on it, you'll see where the flat spot or where the uneven areas are. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there just to show you guys something. So here's the material that came off, a lot of material. Okay, again, plenty of material that is off this stone, a lot of that. Okay, as you can see, even though the wear is slightly uneven, that the top edge and bottom region of the stone is higher than this area here. How thick do you think that is? You can't even measure. There's no caliper in the world that can measure the difference between this area and this area. Okay, it's a micron thick. And, I mean, unless you have some sort of super microscope or something, it is literally a micron thick. So. And here you go. So this is the stone. I'm just gonna rub the Nagara stone on the dirty areas, and you'll see. Okay. See, and that's just the same as every other area now. So, and I'll finish this stone here just so I can prep it for next time. Now, the Besser 1200 is a very porous stone for a 1000. It will absorb some of that color, but just keep in mind the Nagara stones are so extremely soft that they will not hinder or aid sharpening in any way, okay? It's like a chalk. Chalk, you cannot sharpen a knife with chalk. That's quite literally what these guys are. And in terms of their how hard they are, okay? So that's how I maintain my stones. I run the Nagara stone on the surface of the stone. And again, here's the King 1000. I'm just gonna do a quick run with the show you guys. These stones, they're not unflat, even though the diamond plates would take off a layer at a time. It's taking off a micron at a time, and again, you never see this. I ran the stone maybe 10-15 times right there. You will never see this on a knife sharpening. You will never see that much material come off of the stone. Okay, that's just a waste of money. Okay, just simply take your Nagara stone. Okay, run it up and down the stone a few times. There it is. Now this surface is ready for your next knife. And here's the big kicker. You guys will really laugh at this. Okay, so again, before I see all this material that's on the base, you're wasting material. Here you go. You're wasting more material there. All right, so here's the kicker. After you flatten your stone, and most people flatten their stone after one use with the Atoma 140, okay? This is the Atoma 400, which is 4 times or 3 times finer than the 140. It's taking off this much material. How much material do you think the Atoma 140 is taking off? 3 times as much material, okay? And then you guys still will have to lap the stone that's been flattened with the 140 to prep it to sharpen your knife, okay? Because if you don't flatten or don't prep your surface, resurface that stone that's just been grinded with the 140, it's a very rough edge, okay? Especially if you're using a polishing stone, if you're using the Rika 500 or the Arashiyama 6000 or whatever polishing stone you have. If you don't run it with a Nagara stone or lap it with a 1000 or another, high grit stone, you're gonna have all these scratch marks on the surface of the knife, on the surface of the stone. You don't want that. So by simply doing this to the stone before and after the sharpening, you have a flat stone that's flat enough for any sort of polishing and sharpening. And not only is it flat, it's much smoother and it's ready to go. So hopefully that answers your, some of the confusion about flattening your knives or flattening your stones after or before every use. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. Don't do it. I can, again, I feel like I want to name a lot of names out there, big names in the knife world, in the Japanese knife world, that will tell you need to flatten your stone before and after every use. But I'm going to be a gentleman and not call them out. And again, so I just want to encourage you guys to it's okay to buy a flattening stone because they do have their uses. These stones are great for resurfacing a knife, or repairing a knife. And after a certain, I'm not as good a knife sharpener as Murray Carter, so I don't know if I can sharpen a knife that well if it had a huge gully in the center of it. So I would probably flatten my stone if that were ever were to happen, and I see that on my stone. But you don't need one. But they're good to have, especially if you have a lot of stones, or you're planning to sharpen your knives more often. There's nothing wrong with having one. So, but just be aware that you don't need to sharpen, or you don't need to flatten your whetstones before and after every use. Okay? Give me your comments. Let me know what you guys think. If I'm wrong, if I'm completely out of my mind, let me know. I want to hear your comments, or if you agree with me. Okay, and or if you guys want to see some sort of a comparison. Maybe I'll flatten a stone with the 140, and I won't flatten a stone with anything except I'll run the Nagara stone on another. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do a comparison video to show you guys exactly how well a knife can be sharpened without being flattened, without having a stone that's been flattened on the Atomas 140s or 400s. I don't know, another video idea. But anyway, sorry for rambling off. That subject is a sore subject in my mind, and it's a very, very annoying topic that I keep getting bombarded with questions for. And there's just so much misinformation out there, and I just want to help clear that up for you guys. And for those who don't have a sharp flattening stone, be at peace with it. It's all good. And for those of you guys who bought flattening stones, be at peace with it. It's all good. There's nothing wrong with what you guys did. Just don't flatten your stone before and after every use. Okay, I've said enough. Thank you. Bye.